Sonia, a young college student who decided to become a teacher, knew. She realized that she had stumbled upon the kind of person you don't see much of anymore on railway platforms. So she held him tightly. He was a man who everyone said had no social skills. A prickly man who wasn't friendly, a man with a dark side. A man who her friends couldn't understand why she married him, but Sonia didn't care. He is a man who firmly believes in justice, fair play, hard work, and a world where right should be right. He is a man who does things not to get medals, degrees, or praise, but because he deserves them. He is a man who insists on returning 14 days' worth of his advanced salary to the company, because his father died on the 16th of that month. He is a man who has no intention of giving up his will to let God, the universe, and everything else in the world win, and his will to say, "You pigs go to hell." He is a person who believes that there should be order in the world, a daily routine that is repeated, and a feeling of stability in that daily life. When wives get irritated because their husbands didn't notice that they got new hair, this man is the one who gets irritated for several days, because his wife looks different after getting a new haircut. He is a person who likes to keep quiet, and is not one to talk about what other people are doing. To him, mainly dignity meant the fact that grown men should take care of their own affairs. Therefore, he believed that dignity is the right to become an adult and not be dependent on others. I am a person who believes that a person should know what he is fighting for, and that he should have pride in being in control, pride in living correctly, pride in knowing which path to take and which path to abandon, and pride in knowing how to turn the screw and how not to turn it. These men came from a generation that was a people of action, not talk. He believed that people needed to do their part, and he always did his part, and no one could take that away from him. He is a man who jumps into hellish fire instead of running away from it. Nevertheless, he lied to Sonia that he was a soldier, even though he was just a janitor who could not serve in the military due to a heart problem, just because he really enjoyed riding the train with Sonia. When he entered her restaurant with her, it became apparent that everyone inside her restaurant thought she was too much for him. So he felt very foolish. He didn't think she was worthless enough to dine with a con man like him. And he knew that it wasn't right to feel like he was the only man in the world, and that he couldn't sit around like this any longer. He was an honest person enough to realize this. He got up first and tried to run away, but Sonia reached across the table and grabbed his arm, because he was the man on her train who looked at her as if she were the only girl in her world. And he was the man who had never heard anything as wonderful as her voice in her life. He probably won't write her poetry, sing her love sonatas, or come to her house with expensive gifts. But no other boy went in the other direction for hours every day, just because he liked sitting next to her while she talked. So Sonia passed over countless people and married this man. His name is Ove Frederick Backman, a man called Ove. I highly doubt that this type of man remains in Korea. In Korea, even people who are leaders and former presidential candidates insist that they don't know, that they didn't do it, and that they are not involved. It is said that he does not even know the people he treats as his own hands and feet. People follow their leaders. Will a world where right must be right ever come to pass? And will Sonia be able to meet Ove in the Chardic land of Korea? If you look at Uido, where all kinds of tricks are rampant, you might be trying to catch a fish by climbing a tree.